Hello my dear friends, welcome to my channel. In this video we're going to make this beautiful and very cute and simple crochet beanie hat together. The body of this hat is made with a puff stitch flower, and that's very nice and very beautiful. You can see this texture. I made that for child size between 6 to 10 years old, but you can adjust the instructions and make it for each size you want. This hat is a bottom-up hat, and we start from the brim of the hat, make a band and join two edges of the band together and make the body around the long edge of the band, and at the end close the top of the hat. If you're ready, let's get started. I'm going to make this beautiful hat with this yarn, Lavita Goncha. It has 300 meters in 100 grams, and I use a 4mm hook for the brim, but for next part, the body of the hat, I should change the hook and use a 5mm hook. Now with smaller hook, make one slip knot and then make some chains. These chains determine the height of your brim. So if you want to have a folded brim, you can make 18 chains, but I'm going to make 11 chains for a short brim. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And after that, skip the first chain and make one single crochet into the second chain, one single crochet into the next, one single crochet into the next, and continue that work. Make one single crochet into each chain across. Row 1 is finished and I have 10 stitches. Make one chain and turn the work and start row 2 with making one single crochet into the first stitch here under these 2 loops, and then make one single crochet into the back loop of each of next 8 stitches here. Don't make these single crochets under 2 loops of each stitch, and make them into the back loop only, this loop. And now make the last stitch such as the first stitch, one single crochet under both loops of the stitch of previous row here, not into the back loop. Row 2 is finished. Make a chain and turn the work, and then repeat row 2, one single crochet under both loops of the first, one single crochet into the back loop of middle stitches, and one single crochet into the last stitch such as the first one. Row 3 is finished. Make a chain, turn the work, and again repeat previous row. Actually, we should repeat row 2 more and more and make one single crochet into the first and last stitch in each row and one single crochet into the back loop of each of middle stitches, and continue making these rows until the length of this band reaches the desired circumference. I repeated row 2 several more times, and now I have 64 rows in total. The number of these rows for each size should be a multiple of 8. Okay, and now the length of my band has reached desired circumference of head, and I'm going to join these 2 edges together. So turn the work and put these 2 edges together and insert the hook into the first stitch here, the first stitch of row 1 into the remaining loop of that, and grab this loop and pull it through. Okay, now make a chain and then insert the hook into the same loop from row 1 and into the back loop of first stitch from last row, not under both loops of that. Insert the hook here into the back loop of that, Okay, and make one slip stitch. Then go to the next loop from row 1 and back loop of next stitch from last row and make one slip stitch. Again, join the next loop of row 1 to the front stitch, back loop of that with slip stitch, and continue joining all stitches in the same way. Make one slip stitch into each loop of row 1 and into back loop of front stitch of that. Okay, all stitches are joined, and now we should turn the work to the right side and see this invisible join. And we're going to start the body of the hat around this edge of the brim. So remove the hook and start the body with larger hook. Make a chain and one single crochet into the same space, the joining space. Sorry, we should hide this tail through the work. Okay, and now start first round with making one single crochet at top of each row of the brim. Go at top of the first row here and make one single crochet into that. Again, go at top of the second row of the brim and make one single crochet under these two loops at top of the row. One single crochet here into this gap at top of the next row of the brim, and one single crochet here under these two loops. And continue that work. Make one single crochet per each row of the brim, and at the end the number of the stitches of round 1 should be equal to the number of the rows of the brim. Make one single crochet at top of each row. Continue until the end of the round. At the end of round 1 I have 64 single crochets in total. Make one slip stitch into the first single crochet to finish the round, and start next round, round 2, with making one chain and one single crochet into the same stitch, the joining stitch. After that, start a puff stitch flower. Make one chain and skip 1, 2, and 3 stitches of previous round and go to the 4th stitch and make one puff stitch here, yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch and pull a long loop. Again, yarn over, go to the same stitch and pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull a loop from the same stitch. And now we have 7 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all of them to create one puff stitch. After that, make 2 chains and make another puff stitch into the same stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop from the same stitch. Again, yarn over, pull a loop from the same stitch, and yarn over, pull the last loop from the same stitch, and yarn over, pull through all 7 loops on the hook. Make 2 chains, and for last time, make one puff stitch into the same stitch. 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, pull through all loops on the hook, and then make 1 chain. This stitch is a puff stitch flower. And after that, again, skip 1, 2, and 3 stitches from the previous round and go to the next stitch and make 1 single crochet. Again, make 1 chain and skip 1, 2, 3 stitches. Go to the next stitch and work 3 puff stitches with 2 chain between each of them. This is the first puff, chain 2. Make the second puff into the same stitch, 1, 2, and 3. Again, chain 2, and the last puff into the same stitch, 1, 2, and 3. yarn over, pull through all loops, and after the last puff stitch, make 1 chain. The second puff stitch flower is made, and again skip 1, 2, and 3 stitches and make 1 single crochet into the next. And this sequence should be repeated until the end. After each single crochet, make 1 chain only, skip 3 stitches of previous round, and make 3 puff stitches into the next stitch after 3 skipped stitches. Then make chain 2, again another puff into the same stitch, chain 2, and the last puff into the same stitch. And after the last puff, make 1 chain and skip 3 stitches and make 1 single crochet into the next. And repeat this sequence until the end of the round. After making the last puff and chain 1, skip the last 3 stitches of previous round and make 1 slip stitch into the first single crochet, and round 2 is finished. And I have 8 puff stitch flower. And start next round, round 3, with making 1 puff stitch into the same stitch. So pull up this loop on the hook, yarn over, insert hook into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull a loop from the same single crochet, and for the last time, yarn over, pull a loop from the same stitch, and yarn over, pull through all of these 7 loops on the hook, then make 2 chains only, and after that, make another puff into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, pull through all loops and chain 1. Don't make a puff stitch flower, a complete puff stitch flower here, and make 2 puffs only. And after that, make 1 single crochet at top of the middle puff of these 3 puffs here. Then make a chain and go to the next single crochet, skip these puff stitches, the first and the last puff of each group, go to the next single crochet and make a complete puff stitch flower. The first puff, chain 2, the second puff into the same stitch, chain 2, and then make the last puff into the same stitch. And after that, make 1 chain only. This puff stitch flower is placed between 2 puff stitches, puff stitch flowers of previous round. And after that, make 1 single crochet again into the second puff of next group. Here, skip the first and the last puff of this flower, and then make 1 chain and repeat that work. Make 3 puff stitches here into the next single crochet, 1, chain 2, 2, chain 2, and 3, and then make a chain, and then go to the second puff of next flower and make 1 single crochet at top of that and chain 1. And this sequence should be repeated until the end of the round. After making the last single crochet at top of the second puff of the last flower of previous round, and then make 1 chain, go to the go to the first single crochet here, the base of the first 2 puffs of the same round, and make another puff here, 1, 2, and 3, and yarn over, pull through all loops, then make 2 chains and 1 slip stitch at top of the first puff, and round 3 is finished. And in this part we have a complete puff stitch flowers such as other parts. Now start round 4 with making 1 chain and 1 single crochet here into the same stitch, then make 1 chain and make a puff stitch flower into the next single crochet. Skip this puff stitch and go to the next single crochet and make 1 puff stitch flower with making 3 puffs and chain 2 after the first and the second, and after the third puff stitch make 1 chain only. Then skip the next puff of the next puff stitch flower and make 1 single crochet at top of the second puff, and again skip the last puff of this group, make 1 chain and 1 puff stitch flower into the next single crochet between these 2 puff stitch flowers. Chain 2, another puff into the same stitch, chain 2 and the third puff into the same stitch, and then chain 1, and again make 1 single crochet into the middle puff of this flower and chain 1, and continue this sequence. We should make 1 single crochet into the middle puff of each flower, then make a chain, and then make 1 puff stitch flower into each single crochet of previous round and make a chain. Continue until the end of the round. Okay, after making the last puff stitch flower and chain 1, go to the first single crochet of the round here and make 1 slip stitch into that, and round 4 is finished. And after that we should repeat round 3 and make 2 puff stitches into this stitch only, and continue the round, and at the end make another puff stitch into the same stitch, and after that repeat the same round 4, and make 1 single crochet into the first puff and 1 puff flower stitch into the next single crochet, and repeat this sequence, and repeat these 2 rounds, round 3 and round 4, several times until the height of the hat reaches the desired size from the start of the work. I will repeat these 2 rounds and then I'll come back. Okay, I repeated round 3 and round 4 more times, and now the height of my hat has reached 7.5 inches, and that's enough. And now I'm ready to start the crown of the hat. And for making the crown of the hat, we should decrease the number of chains or stitches in each round. Start the first round of the crown with making 1 puff stitch only at top of the first single crochet, yarn over, and then make 1 chain only. Now make 1 single crochet into the second puff of next flower here at top of that, and then make 1 chain. Go to the next single crochet and make 2 puffs, not 3. We should decrease the number of puffs in this round from 3 to 2. After that make 2 chains and then make another puff into the same stitch, and after that make 1 chain. Again 1 single crochet at top of the middle puff of next group, chain 1 and 2 puff stitches into the next single crochet. One, chain 2 and 2, and after that chain 1, and continue this work. Make 1 single crochet into the middle puff of each group, and after that 1 chain and 2 puff stitches into each single crochet, and after that 1 chain. Continue until the end. At the end of this round, after making the last single crochet and last chain, make another puff stitch into the first single crochet of previous round here, the base of the first puff of the same round. Make 1 puff stitch to have 2 puff stitches here, then make 2 chains and 1 slip stitch at top of the first puff stitch. Now start the second round of the crown with making 1 chain and 1 single crochet into this space, the last chain space of previous round, Okay, and in this round we should decrease the number of chains between each single crochet and each puff stitch flower, and again decrease the number of stitches between each two puffs of each flower from 2 to 1. So after making the first single crochet, don't make any chain and make one puff stitch into the next single crochet, then make one chain only, not two chains, and make another puff into the same stitch. And after this puff, the second puff, again don't make any chain and go to the chain to space between these two puffs of next flower and make one single crochet. Okay, actually before and after each single crochet we don't make any chain, and again we make one chain only between each two puffs. So after this single crochet without chaining, go to the next single crochet and make two puffs here with one chain between them. One chain only and another puff into the same stitch. And after that, don't make any chain. Repeat that work. Go to the next chain space between these two puffs, make one single crochet and don't make any chain. Make two puffs at top of next single crochet with one chain between them. 1 and 2. And again, don't make any chain. And this sequence should be repeated until the end of the round. After making the last puff stitch flower, without chaining, go to the first single crochet of the round and make one slip stitch. And round 2 of the crown is finished. And start round 3 with making one puff stitch into the same single crochet. Okay, and don't make any chain. Go to the chain one space between next two puffs, make one single crochet only. Again, don't make any chain and go to the next single crochet and make two puffs without chaining between them. So after making the first puff, don't make any chain and again make another puff into the same space. And repeat that work. Without chaining, make one single crochet into the chain one space between next two puffs, and without chaining, go to the next single crochet and make two puffs into that. 1 and 2. And repeat that work. We should decrease all of chains between single crochets and puff and between puff stitches. We don't make any chain in this round. Continue until the end. Okay, after making the last single crochet into the last space between puffs, make another puff into the first single crochet of previous round, the base of the first puff of same round. And without chaining, make one slip stitch into the next puff stitch here. And round 3 of the crown is finished, and start next round with making one chain and one puff stitch into the same space between these two puffs. So yarn over and pull up a loop from the same space 3 times and don't make any chain, and go at top of the next single crochet again and make puff stitch. We should make puff stitches without chaining at top of each single crochet and between each puffs of each flower. Don't make any chain in this round again, such as previous round, and continue this sequence until the end. After making the last puff, without chaining, make one slip stitch at top of the first puff. And in this round, the last round of the crown, we should make decreased single crochets over each two puffs of previous round. So make one chain and insert the hook into the same puff, pull up a loop. Then go to the next puff at top of that and pull a loop and yarn over, pull through all of them together. Again, go at top of next two puffs and pull a loop from each of them and yarn over, pull through 3 loops to create the next decrease single crochet. One more time, pull a loop from the next puff and pull a loop from the next and yarn over, pull through 3 loops on the hook to create next decrease single crochet, and continue this work and decrease each 2 puffs together until the end of the round. Now make 1 slip stitch into the first decrease single crochet and fasten off and pull the yarn. And now we should close this hole with weaving this tail through the front loop of all of the stitches. So with a needle, go to the front loop of the first stitch of the last round, directly go to the front loop of the next stitch and front loop of each of the next stitches, pull the yarn and continue that work. Pull the yarn pull it tightly to close the hole completely. And now grab this yarn to the back side of the hat, to the inside of the hat, and from here secure the hole with some stitches. And cut the yarn. Now turn the hat to the right side of that, and if you want you can attach a pom-pom at top of your hat. I attached a pom-pom and now my beautiful crochet beanie hat is ready. I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video. Have a nice day.